Welcome back to another episode of the Hawks Nest 206 podcast. Today we're going to discuss the Seahawks 38-14 win over the Washington Commanders. We got a little Sam Darnold top 10 debate, JSN continuing his historic run, and we're going to finish up with a little injury update following the game. Now let's start with that game. It was a dominant performance by Seattle from start to finish. You've really seen Sam Darnold and the Seahawks offense flex their muscles on a game where they were undermanned. They started this game and they had two receivers get called up from the practice squad. No Cooper Kupp, no Derek Young, no Jake Bobo. So you were going to see a lot of relying on their superstar JSN and what these tight ends can do. And Sam Darnold started off a perfect half, and the defense was flying around. You really seen Seattle come into a game where on prime time they could show to the world what they could do, and they handled their business. They didn't play with their food like they did when we played against the Texans. They, from start to finish, just dominated this game. Sam Darnold was perfect. JSN continues to shine. And you've seen some players like Cody White step up, get his name called. He gets a 60-yard touchdown. You see A.J. Barner contribute. You see the run game get a little bit going. And it's what you wanted to see from Seattle. You wanted to see them come in a primetime game and dominate. You wanted to see them play. You wanted to see them put the world on notice, and say, hey, we are here. We are contenders. And what can you say more, from this game? Sam Darnold was great. We could talk about Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold is, to me, a top 10 quarterback. He played lights out today. He was throwing the ball. He was slinging it around. And it wasn't dink or dunk passes. It was very precise pinpoint passes. You've seen him, be that quarterback from last year, and you've seen him continue to build it this year. And in this game, he was perfect, other than, the interception he threw late in the third quarter. He was perfect, and he continues to put on a great resume and continues to show that continuity with Clint Kubiak. You can see him, his pocket presence moving around. You were able to see some of the throws he was able to make. You was able to see him, get a little Mahomey and flick it to Charbonnet. You were able to see the world was able to see a new and improved, Sam Darnold. And that's what you want to see from your quarterback. You come into a game where on prime time, you want to show the world what you could do, because for some reason, no one wants to talk about this Seattle offense. And this is what you do. You come and let the world know, hey, I am here. I am a top 10 quarterback. I am a Pro Bowl quarterback, and this is what I can do. And he came in there and did it. And that's what you want to see from Sam Darnold. You want to see that man come in and play lights out. You want to see him play, mistake-free football. Unfortunately, he had the interception, but to me, I felt like the way he was slinging it, that was a heat check interception. That was him trying to see, okay, what can I still do? Can I still flip my hips and throw this? Unfortunately, he wasn't able to make that throw as an interception, and he'll he'll take that one. He'll learn from that one. But everything that you wanted to see from Sam Darnold, you were able to see from him in this game. And what more can you say about the connection he has with JSN this year? They are, if not the best quarterback wide receiver duo right now. They're playing some of the best ball together. Sam Darnold picked up where he left off last year, if not even better. And JSN has just skyrocketed. Everyone had their questions on, can JSN be the number one wide receiver this year? And he took all that noise and has been silencing everyone. He is arguably a top 4 wide receiver right now. I mean, he is one of the best wide receivers in the league right now. He's leading the league in yards, over 100 yards more than the person behind him, with Jamar Chase. And it just seems like every week is a lock for him to have a 100-plus yard game. And that's not far-fetched, to think that he can't keep this up. He's shown that he can keep that pace. He's shown that it doesn't matter who you put on him, he is going to make them pay. And he has just took everything that you've seen that he could be in college, and he is putting that all on the field. He is putting it all together. He is saying, "Hey, look, you can run this offense through me, and when you need him to step up, when you need a first down, when you need a big play, he is there." He has shown that not only can he be a slot receiver, he can be an outside receiver. You can move him around, and it's not only just what he's doing when you're moving him around. It's the route running, it's the being able to blow past guys. He is shown you could put two on me. I'm going to be open. You can do whatever you want to me, and I'm going to make the play. And you love to see that from JSN. You love to see him taking that role as a third year player and saying, this is me. This is who I am, and I'm going to show the world what I could do. Because you've seen how he played his rookie year, and his how would you like to say this? His disagreement with the OC at the time, and how they feel like they limited his production. And you've seen him in his second year, finally get past 1,000 yards, and then you see him this year build off of what he did last year, and he just skyrocketed this year, and there's no looking back. He's showing, that receiver that you did. He's showing why they're, the receivers in the receiving room when he went to Ohio State, saying, "Hey, this is the best wide receiver that we had there," and he's taking it, and he's going, and then I can continue to give love to JSN, because I just feel like for the way that he is producing this year, I don't feel like there's even enough talk that there should be, because I feel like, Seattle being the small market team, being way up in the Pacific Northwest, they don't get the national media coverage that they should get. And I think, JSN should be getting more, attention than he is. I don't think this is a outlier of a season that, was a 1 year season. I think JSN is asserting himself in the top three debate of saying, "Hey, I'm here, and I am one of the best, if not the best, wide receivers in the league." And that connection with him and Darnold was a question coming into the year of, what were they going to look like this year? What was JSN going to look like as a number one? What was Sam Darnold going to look like? Because he didn't look the best at the end of the year. And they have just put the world on notice that we can be one of the best quarterbacks and wide receivers in the league. And right now they are arguably the best quarterback wide receiver duo in the league. And on top of, having that, it helps when you are getting the contributions from your defense. Seattle's defense has been stingy. They're not letting teams score. They're rallying to the football. They're tackling. They are physical. They are getting after the quarterback at such a high rate. Even if they're not sacking, they are pressuring them. They are getting the ball to the offense and getting it to Sam Darnold, and Sam Darnold is slinging it. He's leading the league in yards per average, so it's not like he's dinking and dunking. He is slinging it. And this team right now is just a well-rounded team. You've seen, earlier in the season, some of the I would say, some of the things that they needed to clean up. And they have cleaned some of those things up. A lot less turnovers today. And the defense has been stingy. It's been hot. They don't allow a lot of they don't let a lot of running backs to get a lot of yards. They're stopping the run at a high level. They lead the league in that category. They're getting healthy. Every time I want to say that, then they lose somebody. But even when they're not healthy, they're having guys step up and be productive. You're seeing you're seeing Nicky Minwari come in when Devin Witherspoon is down, and he's taking that nickel position, and he's being physical. He's showing why he was a second round pick, why he was so touted. All that athletic ability that you saw at the combine. He's showing why he's there. You're seeing a Drake Thomas come in and play each week. You see him play better and better and better. You're seeing a Ty Okada who came out with an amazing pick today. You're seeing him come and step and got for Julian Love, who's been out for almost all year. He's only played 2 or 3 games, and now he's back on. And now he's on IR. You're seeing Ty Okada come in and play meaningful snaps, and he's progressing. He's getting better, and you can see that he is somebody that you can lean on. And this defense, you're seeing this defensive line. You're seeing Leonard Williams still play at a high level. Jaron Reed still play at a high level. You're seeing Byron Murphy come in and show that he's not a bust of a first round pick. You're seeing him come in and produce. You're seeing Derek Hall. You're seeing DeMarcus Lawrence, a vet, come in and set the edge, set the tone against the run, pressure the quarterback. You're just seeing at every level of this defense come together, and they're gelling well, and the offense is fixing some of those issues. And as that progresses, you're just seeing this team come into a well-rounded team that can really come in and play well, and go toe-to-toe with the best teams of the league. Now, they're still struggling a little bit against the run. I would say if that's one thing that you want to use a cause and concern is even in this game, when you're blowing them out, you're thinking, okay, well, we're going to start running. It's hard to go away from the high hand. Sam Darnold was slinging it. So even when they are starting to get a run, you see a Ken Walker, only finish with 42. You see a Charbonnet finish with 20, both under 4 yards per carry, and you're just seeing some holes not open up. You're seeing some struggles opening some holes in that center and right guard spot. Zabel has been great. Zabel has been everything that you have wanted from him. He has came in and allowed very minimal pressure. He has not yet to give up a sack. He is everything that you've wanted out of a first round pick. But a lot of the issues in Seattle's run game right now are at the center and guard position and their lack of ability. I've seen in this game a handful of times when they're trying to run up the middle, and you see Sandell and Bradford get knocked back into the backfield, and then you see Ken trying to bounce it out, trying to make something out of nothing, and it's happened too many times. Pass protection, they're great. Run, they have not been able to get the run game going. They couldn't even get 100 yards as a team this year. And as an offense, that's something they're going to need to fix moving forward. And with the trade deadline coming up tomorrow, look for Seattle to try to address that situation. But coming into this game right now, they were able to just lean heavy on the pass and get away with it. But times where, teams, they're struggling in that area, you're going to need to rely on this run game, and you have a hell of a two-man, two-headed monster in Ken Walker and Charbonnet, and the two things that they can offer with Walker being that elusive running back that can cut and turn and just maneuver around the defense and turn nothing into something. You have that bruiser and Charbonnet. And you need to get those guys going. It's very important that you get those guys going. But for right now, you're just watching Sam Darnold and JSN just go to work week in and week out, and it's a beautiful thing to see this team come together and get this team well rounded. Now, exiting the game, finishing off with how the game ended, they were able to get out of here relatively clean. You saw Josh Jobe come out; he's in concussion protocol, so he's going to have to go to the concussion protocol and get cleared to be able to come back. So that's good. That that he only has a concussion. Maybe he misses one game. Ernest Jones getting his ankle rolled up is a knee injury. They said that it's not an IR thing, but he might miss some time. And that's what I would say is a potential big blow for your defense, being that he is the guy that runs the defense. He is your guy that he sets the tone. You've seen Ernest Jones come in. I mean, you've seen him last year when we traded for him. You've seen him come in and set the tone for this defense and be the tone. And with him gone, you're gonna see a lot of Drake Thomas and Tyrese Knight, and hopefully, it's not something serious. Hopefully it's, maybe a game. Maybe we can see it when we play against the Rams in 2 weeks. But overall, getting out of this game with just those two injuries is something that I guess you can handle. It's the Job one, as someone that's been playing so well, is something that maybe he can come back next week. Just depends on how he handles that concussion protocol. But what you would say, what you could take from this game is when Joe was down and Woolen had to play significantly more steps, he was making plays. He was good in coverage. He was tackling. He was setting the edge. He did everything right other than getting a taunting penalty, which is just one of those things of what we say now is it's just a no fun league. I guess you can't tackle somebody and stand over. You can't do anything. You just gotta take them down and then just walk away. But other than that, Woolen showed a lot in that game, and he's progressively just had a lot of games where he's progressively the last 3 weeks strung together good games to show, hey, maybe you guys shouldn't trade me. I should be on this team. And what we've seen when he's not there, it's a lot to be desired. So he definitely should be on this team. So with Joe being out, you've seen some from Woolen and what you can get there with Jones going out. You've seen Tyrese come in and get 9 tackles. He came in and he played very well, and so you got to see what that could look like, and going against a familiar team in the Cardinals next week. You'll assess that coming forward once you see how what you get back from the Ernest Jones. But it was a great game. It was good to see Seattle come in and actually not play with their food and get business done and move forward. And that will be all for this episode. Be sure to like and subscribe if you like this episode, and follow Seahawks on all platforms: Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. I'll drop the description below. Have a nice day.